So let's start with the basics of information disorder. So let's start by defining each type of information disorder and see how they differ from each other. So let's start off with misinformation. An example of this one would be someone posting an article containing now out of date information, but they don't realize it. Take note though that the information, even though the information are false, they are not created with intention of causing harm. Disinformation, on the other hand, are fabricated information. These false information are deliberately and maliciously created to harm. Then malinformation. It has all the intention to harm. Take note that these are not false information, but instead are real information based on reality, but are used and disseminated to harm others. So now let's try to investigate the 7 types of mis and disinformation. So starting off with satire or parody. Satire or parody has no intention to cause harm, but has the potential to fool. So this is just one example of a satire or parody post from Not the Best Dumagetti. Now, if you are gullible, you might think that these posts are true, which obviously is not. Here are some other satirical websites that you might find satirical posts. We have Adobo Chronicle, So What's News, The Professional Heckler, and Aguila Times, among others. Misleading content is used to frame an issue or individual. Let's take this post as an example. This post is from the year 2020. It came out shortly after President Rodrigo Duterte said the armed communist group has been taking food supplies and other aid intended for the local communities affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the problem with this report is it is over 5 years old, published by GMA News Online on March of 2015. Basically, several Facebook pages have misleadingly revived an outdated story about suspected members of the New People's Army burning 7 trucks in Bukidnon. How do we spot misleading content then? Look for similar stories or read beyond the headline. So this post again is extracted from Vera Files Fact Check. Imposter content. In this type of misinformation and disinformation, the URL of credible news sites are altered to mimic them as shown in this example. Another one would be your favorite legit local news outlet in the Philippines. They are the most common target of deception. So look at this page over here and compare it with this one. This is quite tricky and many fall victim to this imitation. Do remember that official URLs of GMA are these. So if you look at this, it's GMA TV gma-tv.com, and it should only be gmanews.tv. So how then we'll be able to spot imposter content? Just inspect the URL, investigate the source, or check the author. Fabricated content. News content is 100% false, designed to deceive and do harm. Now, some netizens are gullible to believe fabricated content because of their biases. This type of internet users would instantly believe information they see, no matter how hilarious it is, because their perception of the truth is clouded. If the news is in favor of their biases, regardless if it is 100% made up, they'd buy it and even help spread it. So look for similar stories, read beyond the headlines, or check your biases. False connection. Many are guilty of passing judgment after checking the headline without reading the entire content. It's because some propagandists master the art of enticing headlines that elicits emotion from people, and readers are too irresponsible and lazy to read the full content. How do we spot this false connection? Read beyond the headline. If it's a video, watch the entirety of it or check your biases. False context. We have seen plenty of local government news resurfacing on social media time and again. One example is this news about TSWD packing 50,000 relief goods under the Duterte administration. While the story about the new system to speed up production of food is true, it did not happen during Duterte's reign. Based on the caption, the post was meant to give the current administration good press. While the intention is up for debate, it obviously backfired when the date of the news was discovered. Another example would be this now deleted tweet, which has been screenshotted and shared throughout the internet. This caption leads viewers to think the image was taken during the Trump administration. However, this image was taken while Obama was president. This is an example of false context because it uses an Obama era image to criticize the Trump administration. The image itself was real, but it was being used in the wrong context. How do we spot false context then? Check the date, check your biases, or ask experts. Manipulated content. When genuine information or imagery is manipulated to deceive. So remember when Agot Isidro getting quoted about a tweet she supposedly posted on her social media account? Turns out it was a case of manipulated content wherein part of her tweet was intentionally deleted. As you can see here, there is like a big space. It means that it has still a content there, but it was deleted, perhaps using Photoshop. Another example would be on the right. Here's a tweet from Nancy Pelosi that was twisted to fit a political agenda. The photo on the left was shared in July 2019 with captions claiming that Democrats were vacationing in Italy, staying in a five-star hotel and dining out on American taxes. This was debunked, pointing out that this photo was taken in Ghana rather than Italy, per Pelosi's original tweet the photo came from. How to spot manipulated content then? Investigate the source. So here is the summary of this topic. Do remember that before you share the local government news, remember the 7 types of information disorder and determine if what you just read is false information.